facilitator, in his own way a philosopher, Éamon Ó Murchú with Orations.
Excuse me. It's a great privilege to be here this morning. It's always good to come back to Listowel, but I think this particular occasion is very, very special indeed. And I would like at the beginning to echo what Father Brendan and Elizabeth have said. And that's to pay very, very sincere congratulations to the Shanachri, to Writers' Week and to St. John's for the magnificent way in which they have got together and planned a superb programme for us this week. They deserve great credit, and I have no doubt at all that considering the atmosphere that's in the town at the moment, it will continue to go from strength to strength. I'm also delighted that Gabriel Fitzmaurice is here to keep an eye on me. I know Gabriel for many, many years, a moonsoil, a poet, a Scoilige, a Spéirle. He's also a rogue. He also has published many, many wonderful anthologies. He has written for children, and he's a musician, and I could go on and on. But more than anything else, he is indeed somebody that we're very fond of, very proud of, and always delighted to meet. Indeed, when Matt came to Listowel, it was he and Michael Hartnett that were a huge inspiration to him at the time. And Gabriel continues to support Matt in every way possible. Indeed, the other day, when Matt was speaking to me, he said, Gabriel Fitzmaurice was my guru from the beginning. He took me on board when I came to Kerry. I had something to graft on. His paucity of words and respect for the locality and its people have always inspired me. Matel na Matt Cara na Gala, agus or Vastigoingot, or Cara agus or Ille. He uses a phrase in one of his poems where a priest describes his brother as he is a good person. Small phrase, but captures everything, and certainly Matt is a good person. Salausha ta filiach, fokliach, fialsunot, nádur agus scéliach. Agus iad go léir, fitte fúte na brá dé agus na bósan. Between these covers, we encounter Matt the poet, the parent, the philosopher, the nature lover who shares with us perceptions, beliefs and challenges, all enveloped with a deep humanity, influenced by his own spirituality and love of neighbour, which is profound. And in his writings, Matt is at different times happy, grateful, perplexed, questioning, and at times angry. As we travel with him in this collection, he takes us back to his native Kilcrease, County Galway, to where he was shaped by his parents and his native landscape. He brings us here to his adopted Listowel, where, as has been said, he is now regarded as one of our own. He brings us to Dúnchain, where he goes frequently to gain nourishment from the Dúchas culture agus tradition, which imbues all he does, and further afield to Spain of the Bougainvilleas, a place to read a book or drift in dreams, to Percy Square in Limerick and to Dublin, where observations and perceptions of the city environment are as acute as those he encounters in rural Ireland. There is a gentle calm between the covers of this book, which can be and is ruffled, however, from time to time by Matt's own patience with events unfolding in our world today in places he mentions in the book like Mariupol, Dnipro and Gaza. God, nature and peace and love figure prominently in his poems. Motherhood, fatherhood, brotherhood, sisterhood, childhood, all jump from these pages, recording with extreme sensitivity specific customs, encounters and practices. Matt's mother and father had a strong influence on him, not only on his early years but throughout his life. And Matt told me that the first poem that he read in public was Wild Roses, which he read at his mother's grave in 1999. His early and formative years in Galway form much of the backdrop for these poems, and his early recollections of home, the farm, the landscape, and his application of those early memories to the here and now, provide him with a continuum from season to season that overarches all his creative work. He still today draws from the happiness and peace of a child growing up. His poetry is constantly tapping into them on the farm of the local environments. Matt tries to encapsulate in verse what the layman say, what the ordinary people say, and how they say it. Matt is mesmerized by the language, accents, and richness of his native dialect. He says, "We have a language all of our own. The language we speak is the language of the people. Agus an noid tá dámta as Gaeilge agus as béle sa leabhar áling seo. Ní Gaeilge na leabhar atá sa bhailiúcháin seo, ach Gaeilge bhín bhlasta nádúra dúchasach. A dálam sé a dús sa Gaelta Chonamara agus ar chuir sé bar fiabhse I gach go Gaoine. Agus tá drú cheangal fósaige le gach go Gaoine agus Chonamara ach go háirithe in Ismeán." I would now, at this stage, like to read two poems and conclude with that. Both, I think, are most appropriate to read at the Listowel Literary Week, which provides an opportunity for writers to be read, to be listened to be acknowledged, and to be sensitive to what is going on around us. This collection does deal with the local and the universal, but at times it takes us away from the comfort, delight, songs and stories of the familiar, and challenge us to take more note of what is happening away from us to our fellow human beings. And it cautions us against being so preoccupied with our own affairs that we are beyond and good down. The first I will read shakes us out of our complacency and challenges us to reflect. Poig Spree. Cé gur bringóidí I lána híthe, feicimíd ile slán sa bhailte sa Poig Spree ba ansa leo. A léimtar an rilegáin róg a gealgháireach a luas go heasca a luas gáin sa bhuiste. Go cíocha, a súil le húchtar roite a áilt, ón bhain bán is gealach a hagan go ceolhúlas gan bhuiil. Tá de lí cóm blasta brisco lí, gach gré ahir is máir lúcháileach a gáileach. Is mí cheart, gar súin gaza tá fósan a maithe a lochtú a líd a bheith cogaí a clán bán. Ad is atá an slag gan stad a siúl ag Israel, talamh is an éir an choscuinte I muir. Is ag ile an dé deireg, seolta ag an ocras ag na stáisiúin bia chun fanúin bio seal eile. Cothú ó gháile ag na haibrithe cálacha, bálaí bachacha sínte amach go cíochrach, is a súileamh ortha, ó líana ceann a cheann as pata olbhór an ghachta is an gal ag éiri as. Mana ó neang is na gachta cháin I trangláir, gúin dóchais go clos ó rubble na scúin. Tanta tnúha déana is a bhfuil uair sa léir, bós nó brethe na slatarí I do gá cheann na maith, an leis á lara go náiteach leanúnach I ná dóid ach tromlaí the law is thee. Hard to blame the kids still alive in Gaza when they are bored and belligerent, herded by the hunger at feeding stations like a host of little Olivers. Their begging bowls outstretched, each in turn frantically filled with ladles by heroic aid workers from their pots, steam rising from the gruel-like food, manna from heaven in a famine looming, ripples of desperation, waves of need, sapling bodies pressing, sweat to get a chance to live, an end to all the gnawing, a handout of hope, in an endless nightmare, when they should be careering peacefully in a local playground of slides and swings, roundabouts for jumping on and off in glee, where the ice cream van arrives in full tune, children licking their crispy, crunchy cones, proud parents congregating in conversation, admonishing their offsprings amid laughter, a distant dream in the middle of this disaster. Family means so much to Matt. And indeed, this book is dedicated to his wife Mary and to his daughters Anne, Maeve and Siobhan. And this next poem is dedicated to Mary, who is described in yet another poem as follows: to live the dream of all the people I have ever seen, it was you who helped me live the dream. I'll end with this short poem as a tribute to him. You saw me through radiation's healing rays, those days of treatment all the summer of 16, sole solace of my now tenuous state of being. By the firs in bloom down a quiet by-road off the N69, homewards we'd stop to picnic, so self-contained, our own safe world of two. Opening the windows of my soul, you tell me the shortfalls in my quest for truth and beauty, shackled by myself, by my own inconsistency. You are ever here with me in the dance of life. In our orbits around each other, we come close to eclipsing one another, a father and a mother. Sholta, Canagay, please buy it, it's a gem, good evening, Mahagat Matt.
Good evening, Mahagat, Éamon as an council, Shane, and his Falcha Currin, now Noah, Matt Mooney. It is now my great pleasure to introduce to you our own Matt Mooney.
After all of that now, what can I do when you do my best? So you most heartily welcome those of you who have come here because of me. All because of me, all because of my writing a few poems. Oh my God, what happens when you do that? So that's Listowel. Listowel does that to you as well, you know. You can't get away from it. So you're most heartily welcome me to Falcha. I welcome especially, I would put it bluntly, the last surviving member of my brothers and sisters, Sally, who's come from Galway, and who's from Paris. The others have always been loyal and turning up here for all my launches, but I digress. So now I'll go ahead and read a poem or two. I read a poem called The Trivium. And of course, I will be, and I've always been eternally grateful there to Éamon. This is not his first time launching me into a new life. And going to have with Éamon. Thanks a million to Revival Press, from Tommaso Quilani, Philip Muntic, Asquil, Aaron Yoon, Lauren Lewis, Mohiga, Kindle Dassa, Aaron Yoon, and to Dominic, the man who, Dominic Taylor, who puts up with me inside Limerick. He's talking about gurus. He's the poetry guru in Limerick. His sidekick was Barry Shane, the White House poets, and the Loft Bar and all that. And now it's a total way of life in Limerick poetry. So I give you the Tribune. Weekday beside the kitchen table, fixed in a foot-on-knee position, reading the Tribune. Brown, round-rimmed glasses on, smoking his yachtsman cut blue. That's how I often see my father. In from the fields in the evening, framed in an iconic sunset glow.